Peggy 16.
Sega.
Empire is one of our most discussed products, right?
Yes.
Not least because it was, commercially certainly one of our biggest, and it reached kind of the biggest number of people, and the biggest number of fans. But it did a number of things which some people, kind of vaunted and others vilified. And I think it was a pretty interesting set of design choices. I mean, naval battles. Okay, when we added those, where do you start with something like that? Design-wise, when you add a naval battle to the game, you go, right, we've had land battles for X many iterations and made those better. Do you just go, well, this is just a land battle at sea?
No, this is different.
Yeah. You start off by looking at what actually happened. You go to the history and
look at how it
actually naval battles are very tedious in real life because they take forever.
Sail about, wait for it.
There's an hour of knowing that you're going to die and then 3 minutes while you die.
Slow motion car crash.
It is a slow motion car crash. If you look at most naval battles of the period, they do have the air of somebody knows that they're going to get beaten. So there is this kind of car crash happening.
But how do you translate that into a game?
Exactly.
You've got this really slow engagement process and this formation process.
Tactically, it's kind of interesting on one level, but it is like two yachts going around a course. There's that constant jockeying about. When when you see a sailing race, you're jockeying around trying to get in the wind position because that's going on. But at least they're not actually shooting at each other.
Before I'd be massively immersed in RPGs or FPS where I'm actually the character, not the first person games, but the FPSs. But this was a strategy game that had the same kind of level of immersion, the suspension
you were
of
the
disbelief.
nation.
I was the nation, and yeah, it did have that kind of nostalgic, memory.
This is exactly why, just to go back to the point earlier, why people get cross with us if we don't know exactly what they want.
Because they get so into it. We're messing with their kind of.
The interesting thing is it kind of, like on a high level, the interesting thing about this is that our games are generating real experiences for people, in which case we're almost transcending art and literature.
But it's true. Games do transcend.
Good games do.
Good games do.
Right? Because there are so many games out there that you play, and like I say, they're popcorn experiences. You enjoy them. They're a visual feast or whatever, but you don't come away with an indelible personal effect.
It's like a
you
train
look at
ride.
the number
It's not
with Steam.
Hours,
we can see how many hours people play
for hundreds.
and they play for hundreds
Let's
of
try
hours.
thousands.
And it's
Actually, yes, there
was a guy on the forums the other day whinging about the fact that and I use that word advisedly, he hadn't had good value, even though he'd played for 1,900 hours on Empire. And he's paid $35 for something that's entertaining for 1,900 hours. That's
how long is your average console game now? What, 6 hours? 6 to 10 hours?
Ten's
like
good.
That? 10's are good. I mean, that's you barely scratch the surface.
I like it when the game does something that we didn't intend it to, and gives us a bit of a surprise. I remember playing Mid 1, and one of my allies, which had been an ally for a long time, managed to take one of my regions off me in a way which we never intended. And the way he did it was he sent a bunch of bishops in, caused a peasant rebellion, and then sent a diplomat in and bribed the rebels, all in one turn. I'd lost a region, I was still his ally, I couldn't do anything about it. It was brilliant, and that's the kind of thing where the game does something unintended but clever.
Emergent behaviour.
The first time you see the elephants in Rome, that was very cool. As what I always describe as the Zulu moment. The Zulus are thousands of them. Where you. Well, no, I had one when I was playtesting Medieval. I had one battle where this British army, or English army, I should say, in Egypt, and there's a sandstorm, and the enemy are all off in the distance. It looks like there's about 3 of them. This sandstorm waves in. And then the weather clears, and they're all standing there 20 yards away from me. Jesus Christ. And that was kind of impressive the first time I saw it, and that was a favourite.
We have a lot of good tech in place, and it'd be nice to, just really focus on tools and content.
Gameplay.
Gameplay.
See, I like that. I like the way that I hope. My hope is that the power and the computational ability of both GPUs, CPUs, memory, whatever platform we're on, whether it's consoles, PCs, whatever we do, right, and wherever entertainment goes, gets to the point where it's so large and so big, it becomes an utterly creative medium. It just purely becomes about what can you do within this power base, rather than what can you push to the limits of the power base.
This is why we're building tools. We've got a nice chunky tools team for Shogun 2 and for Napoleon, and it is becoming easier and easier to generate content. It's still bumpy and rocky, but as the tools smooth out, as they improve, then it becomes easier and easier for people to generate content. We may release the tools, I don't know. I have no idea what's going to go on down the future, but
as somebody generates that content, just let me say, it doesn't become easier.
It frees us up. It frees us up to be creative in the ways that we want to on a project. It gives us the ability to just create stuff without
any limitation, and that would be awesome.